Welcome to part 2 of identifying your core gifts. And we're looking at the life of Joseph to kind of help us to do that. Before we go on to today's teaching, I wanted to correct something I said last week. In the references that I gave, interpreting Pharaoh's dream was actually Genesis 41, and interpreting the cupbearer's dream was Genesis 40, and the last reference of Genesis 37 was actually correct. All right, now. Let's get into today's teaching. Now, we want to look at the core gifts that Joseph had. What would you say they were? Can you guess? All right. Well, the first one was a gift of administration. And that's explained for us in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 28. The second one was a gift of dreams and interpretation. And we understand that that's still current for us today, because the Bible says that the young man will see visions and the old man will dream dreams. And you can look at that in Acts 2 from verses 17 down to verse 21. All right, let's look at the way in which the gift of administration showcased itself in the life of Joseph. So number one, when he was at home, his father sent him to take a look at what his brothers were doing and to bring a report. The second thing is we find out in the house of Potiphar, when he was there, Potiphar concerned himself with nothing except the food that he ate, because Joseph was a great administrator over that house. And also, when he was in prison, the jailer gave him the same role as an administrator in prison. And then finally, Pharaoh gave him or made him the administrator over all of Egypt. So we see that's the way that that gift showcased itself in the life of Joseph. What about the gift of dreams and interpretation? Well, that showcased itself at home because he had two dreams, which he nicely told his family about, and they weren't too pleased. And also when he was in prison, he was able to interpret the dreams of the cupbearer and the butler. And of course, he interpreted Pharaoh's dream at his request. All right, what does all this have to do with you? And how can you use that to identify your own core gifts? This is how it goes. Wherever you are, people place a demand on those gifts. So what are the gifts or abilities or skills that people keep on demanding of you to produce, to showcase things that you actually love? Forget about the fact that you're a good, accountant, and wherever you go, people get you to do accounting, but you hate it. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a gift that you have, that you love, and people place a demand on. For example, those who can sing, whenever they go somewhere, they always talk, oh, can you lead us in this song? Or can you sing that song? Can you do it? Can you, they're placing a demand on that gift. That's what happened to David. David was a good musician, so much so that one of Saul's servants recommended David to Saul. Well, why would he do that? He was placing a demand on the gift that David had. For example, wherever I go, I tend to find myself in teaching or presenting. Why? Because that's what I love, and people have a way of placing a demand on that gift. That's what I'm talking about. So what are yours? What are the gifts that people are demanding of you to showcase? Those are your core gifts. All right. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Share the content. Come on, share with your friends, families, and watch more videos in the series. And this is Pastor Boomy saying, God bless you. I'll see you soon.